Hello there everybody. Rosanna, Rosy Glow here. I hope you are well. Sorry I've been so quiet. I've actually been post-peace recovery after the 100th anniversary of Remembrance Day and the end of World War I. I have really wanted to make this video just to basically let you know where my head is at with this, because it's a really exciting subject when you actually look at the healing that can take place. And both World War I, World War II, and actually any war that we have either been directly or indirectly affected by does and can have an effect on our fertility. And I'm going to be going into this in a lot more detail on Friday. I believe I'm going to be going live at 10:30 a.m. to discuss it, but you have the opportunity to listen to this longer video either by signing up to Rosy Glow YouTube or the Facebook page, or both, where we will be playing the replay, and I will be live on the Facebook page here with Rosie to discuss it. But what I really wanted to go into, we've had issues around age with Prince Harry's missus being pregnant at 37 and being a geriatric according to medical terms, and I really wanted to kind of explore why age isn't as important as it's made out to be regarding fertility issues. It's more to do with the fact that we're not as vital and vibrant as we are when we're younger, and also how we get into these patterns of holding trauma in our body, whether we've inherited them, so they're indirect patterns, or whether we actually experience direct trauma, such as Michelle Obama's miscarriage, which led her to end up needing to have IVF to get pregnant again. And this is another issue I wanted to explore, which is why we can get pregnant naturally one minute and then we actually can't get pregnant. Because if you have experienced the trauma of a miscarriage or something traumatic happening that leaves you in fear in the early weeks of pregnancy, this can lead to there being all sorts of issues with the pregnancy, including sort of it being a more high-risk pregnancy, there being more health conditions with the baby, and also being born early or having a more difficult birth. Hello, Hazel. And this is to do with the fact that in the early weeks of pregnancy, this is when we have the nervous system, we have the digestive system, we have the cardiovascular system developing all under 8 weeks of pregnancy. So it's a very, very important time. And often when a woman has experienced a previous miscarriage, she's going to spend those early weeks absolutely terrified and could spend her whole pregnancy terrified. Now, why would IVF work if you've had a previous miscarriage and you haven't then been able to conceive naturally? Well, think about the conditions. If the first time you got pregnant, it was through making love and it was through an intimacy that then led to pregnancy, it would make sense that the body might feel differently and the mind might feel differently about conceiving in a different way, and therefore if you've conceived in a different way, which would be through IVF, then it's a different experience, so it doesn't necessarily trigger the same trauma response in our cellular memory. This is all really fascinating stuff, and I want to say that both known fertility issues and unknown fertility issues, so if we are infertile due to unknown causes, these all play a part, and there is an echo back to the First and the Second World War for those of us who live in Europe and who are from descendants in Europe, because of the fact that we were also affected by it. We have studies on the Dutch famine, for example, and how the Dutch famine affected the children in utero and predisposed them either towards higher increase in obesity, in diabetes, and also with mood regulation, so schizophrenia. And of course, this would also lead to eating disorders and stress management. So we're also looking at mental health as well. There are also other human studies to do with the Holocaust and the survivors of the Holocaust and how they actually handle stress. And one of the biggest contributors to not being able to get pregnant is being in a high state of alert. So your nervous system generally being in a sympathetic nervous system response most of the time, rather than engaging the parasympathetic nervous system response, which is the rest, repair, feed and breed. We live in a fast-paced world. Everything's kind of destined towards triggering a high state of alert. And if that's what we were used to in the womb, then also we can seek that thrill somehow, which keeps us in that state of high alert. But this is not conducive to being able to conceive, to grow a baby to term, to give birth with ease, because of the fact that we are more stressed, and chronic stress has got long-term impacts and short-term impacts on the development of the fetus, including the neurological development and the biological development. So it's really important stuff for all of us to know, both if we've had children before, but also if we haven't had children and we're thinking about having children, or we've been trying for a long time and not being able to get pregnant or stay pregnant, whether that's naturally or through IVF. I'm going to be looking into all of this and why this is the case, and why the wars actually have affected us the way they have. But I'm also going to be looking at how you can overcome this, because through seeking to overcome the trauma that we have inherited, or the direct experience trauma that we've been through that we don't know how to deal with, we then create safety within us, and that is when we're able to do healing for ourselves and also for the future generations to come, so that they're not going to be recreating the conditions of the past in order to understand them. And also for our ancestors, we support them to clear the trauma, because time isn't linear, as we know, and so as we clear ourselves, we have an effect on the past and the future as well as the present. So I hope this has got you a little bit excited about understanding a little bit more about how your great-grandmother, your great-great-grandmother and your grandmother's health and experience of life and the wars and love and when they were pregnant and everything that happened in that time would even lead you to a place where you might have felt that your mother wasn't really interested in you, or didn't really want you, or was more work focused, and therefore within you there is a desire to have a baby, but also a fear of being a mother the way that you were mothered. So this is an invitation towards compassion and forgiveness as well, which allows you to be able to live out a different story. So I hope that you will join me. Please remember to subscribe to Rosie Glow Facebook and also to Rosie Glow on YouTube. And if you sign up to the website, obviously we will send you the replay anyway. So I hope you'll join me Friday 10:30 a.m. where I'll be spending a good hour or so digging into this, so that you can see how all of the issues are related, what you can do about it, how you can forgive the past and embrace the future by dealing with where you're at in the present, with a no judgment, no guilt, no blame phase. That's what we're going to be doing. All right then, take care. Lots of love for now. Bye.